Imagine yourself in this moment. A pivotal playoff game versus a heated rival. You crush a baseball. By its trajectory, it's a no-doubter. The crowd rises in unison. Pandemonium ensues. What's your instant reaction? Man, Fernando Tatis Jr. said, when I hit it, I don't know, I just blacked out. Once regarded as the next face of baseball, due to a mix of injuries and a PED suspension, Tatis hadn't played a postseason game at Petco Park since 2020. Except back then, something was off. No crowd, no energy, and ultimately, no championship. 4 years later, the ongoing pursuit towards glory continued. Only this time, in front of an electric, championship-starved San Diego crowd, the Padres were closer than ever. A journey towards a perfect ending in the memory of one man. Team owner Peter Seidler, the man who led the transformation of the San Diego Padres before his sudden passing nearly 12 months prior. This playoff run was in dedication to him. But also atonement for the failures of 2023. Bottom of the ninth, down a run, bases loaded, 2 outs, full count. The last time someone struck out looking in this situation was Hideki Matsui back in 2006, until Trent Grisham in April 2023. 3 months later, he found himself in the same exact scenario. He struck out swinging. Now, not to ridicule Grisham for something that happened nearly 2 years ago, but there's no microcosm more fitting to symbolize a season-long issue for the 2023 Padres. An inability to perform in high-leverage situations. An endless cycle of double plays, strikeouts, and hard-hit batted balls finding the gloves of opposing fielders. Since I've been here, I've never seen such an unlucky team. Perhaps the most overt quantification of this team's high-leverage woes comes in the form of expected record. A record solely determined by the number of runs a team scores and allows. Typically, due to baseball's inherent randomness, team records often deviate from their expected records by a few games or so. As for the 2023 Padres, they won 10 less games than they were expected to. An outcome seen only 3 other times in the 21st century. A disaster of a season for a team who entered opening day with the league's second highest World Series odds. In summary, as well-rounded as the Padres appeared on paper, this was merely a mask for a team stuck in baseball purgatory. However, on the bright side, considering the minuscule odds of the Padres replicating this level of misfortune in 2024, not to mention they were the league's best team in September, there was little justification to pivot away from their immediate World Series aspirations. Unfortunately, off-the-field circumstances prompted immediate dilemmas.
Oh, that ball is gone! Soto with a 3-run home run!
Fortunately, these off-the-field dilemmas had nothing to do with Petco Park, a stadium I'm incredibly excited to head back to in 2025. Of course, I'll need some tickets, which is where today's sponsor comes in. SeatGeek. With more than 70,000 listed events including concerts, sports, festivals, and more, SeatGeek is my go-to ticketing app. In early March, I attended my first ever soccer game, San Diego FC's inaugural home game. And while no goals were scored, I had a great time. SeatGeek makes browsing tickets super simple thanks to their rating system. A 1 to 15 scale where green means good and red means bad, so make sure to look for the green dots. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you know I came through for you guys. You can use code STORM15 for 15% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 15% off any tickets with promo code STORM15. So make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. Circumstances including an uncovered $50 million loan to cover payroll, to the loss of future revenues stemming from a defunct TV deal, to a third straight season of luxury tax penalties, to a league-issued mandate to comply with debt service ratio requirements. All factors behind a desire to decrease payroll by around 20%, leaving limited wiggle room to replace the innings pitched by 5 key departing pitchers, much less their level of production. Add in the plethora of multiple long-term contracts, rumored front office dysfunction, and an irreplaceable ownership void, the writing was on the wall for a painful trade in order to achieve immediate financial relief. Juan Soto to the Yankees. The loss of a superstar talent, but a relief of a projected $35 million in arbitration salaries between Soto and Trent Grisham. In return, they received an intriguing mix of young pitchers, most notably Michael King, and veteran catcher Kyle Higashioka. Before 2023, team leadership alluded to an eventual transition from a top 3 payroll to a more viable long-term model of roster building, resulting in a top 10 to 12 payroll range. Still, following such a disappointing season, fans treated this sudden transition towards a quote-unquote sustainable mindset as a disservice to Peter Seidler's unrelenting pursuit towards championship glory. People love that word, sustainable. Let's find a different one. Do I believe our World Series parade is going to be on land or on water, or on both? Putting a great and winning team on the field in San Diego year after year is sustainable. In a sports world where team owners are often resented by their fan base, Seidler stood out as a true one of one. A man whose impact stretched beyond the baseball field, embedding himself throughout the San Diego community. My heart hurts with the unfortunate news of Peter Seidler's passing. I'm sure everyone that knew him would agree with me when I say Peter was a truly wonderful human being, and being in his presence was always a blessing. He was a teacher of life and taught me countless lessons from all the interactions we had. May his beautiful soul rest in peace.
Well, this will be the first opening day for the Padres without their owner, Peter Seidler, but you can feel his presence throughout this entire ballpark.
You'll see a lot of gold hearts with the PS indicating, yes, a lot of heart from Peter Seidler. He was the heart of the team, and hopefully that translates into many wins in the playoffs, possibly a parade, which Peter wanted later this year.
To left, and it's gonna get down. A base hit. Padres take a 4-3 lead. Xander Bogaerts driving in a run. Line to right, a base hit for Cronenworth. 2 runs are in, and the Padres take a 6-3 lead. On the ground right side, Bogaerts has got it, his throw to first. That's the ball game. Padres win their home opener.
A late inning comeback win. A 2023 rarity achieved in game number 3 of the 2024 season. To be able to bounce back, and right away, I feel that's a good sign that this year is different. The year prior, amongst the stories of dysfunction and financial trouble, questions emerged regarding clubhouse leadership and cohesion. Rather than any deep-rooted tensions between teammates, this elite collection of talent seemed to lack a central purpose, resulting in an inability to achieve any semblance of consistent success until it was too late. How much the reported lack of clubhouse cohesion contributed to their season-long spiral is anybody's guess. But one thing was for sure. Unity under a shared objective was key to this team's success. In 2022, it was slaying the dragon. In 2024, the mission became clear. Honor the man who initiated this rallying cry.
We will continue to work hard to fulfill your longtime dream, which is to bring a parade to the city while we hold up the Commission's Trophy at the end of the year. We love you, Peter.
High fly ball, deep right field, headed for the Crone Zone.
We've seen some crazy comebacks. Trail by 6, stay tuned.
Kim lines it into right field. From third comes Machado. That gets by. All the way from first comes Profar. Then it's 8-4. This is headed towards second base. And in from third is Kim. It's 8-5. To left, Ian Happ going back. Looking up. It's gone. Padres back within a run. High drive. Deep left field. At the wall. Gone. Hernando makes it 9-8. Unbelievable. They struck him out. The Padres win. Came all the way back. Victorious.
We talked about how winners find a solution, get better as the game goes, never give anything away in competition, regardless of the circumstances. This club lost an MVP candidate and Cy Young winner, yet less than a month into the season, they showcased a set of traits instilled by new manager Mike Shildt, rarely shown the year prior: grit and tenacity. And if there was one player who embodied this newfound perseverance, it was a player once described as irrelevant.
And that one is hard hit to center. Outman going back, still going back. Then it ricochets away. A huge base clearing double to give the Padres a 6-3 lead.
Following the Soto trade, relievers Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta were the Padres' offseason headline additions until they conducted a blockbuster trade for potential ace Dylan Cease. But it was the overlooked $1 million re-signing of Jurickson Profar who stole the early season headlines. Most notably, a bases-clearing, series-clinching double at Dodger Stadium on April 14th. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to check the dictionary because he's been leading this team big time. Machado wasn't lying. At the end of April, the former #1 prospect led the team offensively, combining his elite plate discipline with a newfound surge of power. However, the Padres still had a long way to go.
Whoa, that one almost hit him, and he swings and misses and strikes out.
Yeah, that's an out.
So that's an out.
Yep.
A record below 500 at the end of April, a below-average pitching staff, and an underperforming offensive big three. Fortunately, the National League playoff race was crowded enough to not concede to early season panic. But the front office knew they needed to make a splash sooner rather than later.
Luis Arraez now. Line to center field, a base hit. Wade's coming around from second. Here comes the throw. He will be safe. Welcome to San Diego, Luis Arraez. Padres win it.
In a rare May blockbuster deal, the Padres added arguably MLB's most polarizing talent, Luis Arraez. Now, AJ Preller is no stranger to the shocking, abrupt trade. I mean, some of the players involved in this deal found out while playing a game. Although, giving up multiple prospects in an era where one-dimensional elite contact hitters are becoming obsolete, why make this deal? Well, the Marlins paying the vast majority of his 2024 salary certainly helped, but take a look at this. Between Arraez's two batting champ campaigns, 2022 and 2023, he produced a 128 OPS plus and 130 WRC plus, a batter around 30% more value than the league average batter in terms of run value. In addition, of the 28 players who produced a 125 OPS plus between these two seasons, Arraez ranked 6th in on-base percentage. Overall, an intriguing skill set for a team growing increasingly more willing to lean into the extremes of a contact-oriented hitting philosophy. If you put the ball in play, you have a better chance to do something. In 2023, the Padres and Dodgers were the only teams with a walk rate over 10%. But the Padres' lack of slugging prowess didn't allow them to fully capitalize on their on-base abilities. One potential reason for this was the lack of optimization for their home ballpark, a hitting environment renowned for suppressing offense.
Fly ball, deep left field. Gaia up the wall, and he's got it! Everybody take a deep breath.
We really focus on what's the approach that we need to have there. and its gap-to-gap line drives. Throughout the StatCast era, line drives have consistently proven to be the optimal batted ball outcome for offensive success. This team's offensive potential in 2023 was hindered by the league's third-worst line drive rate. In 2024, alongside a top 3 line drive rate, the Padres possessed a league-low strikeout rate and league-high contact rates, while remaining relatively conservative with their swing choices. A form of controlled aggressiveness, not only a potentially title-winning ideology, but the development of something the 2023 team lacked: an identity, one they truly believed in. Imagine this situation. Up 1 run in the 5th inning, runners on the corners. The batter hits into a fielder's choice, scoring a run to double the lead. However, there was catcher's interference, meaning as a manager, you could accept the interference, leaving you with 2 outs, a runner on second, and a 2-0 lead, or you could decline the interference, taking away the run, but loading the bases with 1 out. What would you do? This was the dilemma given to Mike Shildt on April 30th, ultimately electing to forego Jake Cronenworth's RBI fielder's choice, loading the bases for Manny Machado.
Driven to the gap in left center field for Manny Machado. That's down. They may clear the bases. Here comes Cronenworth. He'll score.
What a call by Mike Shildt there.
In terms of run expectancy, a run is much more likely to score in a 1-out bases loaded situation than a 2-out runner on second situation. However, in addition to the variability of expected stats, this discounts the fact they were willingly erasing a run in a tight game while in the midst of a 5-game losing streak. Shildt likely had all this data at his disposal, but he decided to entrust a slumping elite player in Manny Machado, a level of trust that goes a long way in building team unity. You can have the bases loaded and 1 out for Manny Machado, Shildt said. I'm going to bet on Manny Machado.
Kim at third, Tatis at second, Cronenworth at first, and Manny Machado will be next.
5-4 Colorado.
Oh, how the baseball gods love cruel jokes. On May 13th, Machado grounded into a brutal game-ending double play. In terms of WPA, or win probability added, this single at-bat dropped the Padres' probability of winning by 53.6%, the 3rd largest WPA shift of any at-bat in the 2024 Padres season, a loss reminiscent of the year prior. 2 days later, they were swept, the only team in 2024 to be swept by the Rockies at home.
And the Rockies had their first shutout of the year. They had their first sweep in San Diego since 2013.
With that being said, the Padres ended May in a playoff position thanks to an improved pitching staff. But outside of players like Arise, Profar, and Cronenworth, offensively, the results hadn't fully materialized yet. Even worse, with Bogaerts, Darvish, and Musgrove on the cusp of multi-month absences, these discouraging playoff odds were on the verge of transforming from projections into reality.
Nick Senzel! See you later! A 3-run 10th for the Nets.
Line to center field, a base hit for Merrill. 1 run is in. Here comes Solano. It's now 6-5. Winning run into scoring position now for the Padres with just the 1 out.
Little pop fly, Nick Senzel after it!
What a play, Nick Senzel. Great jump to go get this.
They get the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th. And a 2-2 coming to Profar. Profar hits it towards right center field. Long run for Lane Thomas. Not gonna get there. Padres win in 10. This is probably what they took exception to last night, I would imagine. It was a tough loss for them all the way around. just ejected Schilt, I believe, because Schilt couldn't believe they didn't eject Gore. And Manny Machado will see if they can make a pay. Deep left field. Winker back at the wall. Take that, says Manny Machado. Profar's fired up, and he should be. And the Padres take a 2-0 lead. Line to right down towards the corner of the pole. Gone! Grand slam puts the Padres on top 9-4. The exclamation point for Profar.
To call June an eventful month was an understatement. Prior to the National Series, the Padres hit 3 consecutive home game 9th inning walk-off home runs, the first team in MLB history to accomplish this feat, but still resulting in a 50-50 record after a game 100 loss. So, 100 games into the season. Who were the 2024 San Diego Padres? An aggressive, clutch offense combined with a strikeout-heavy pitching staff driven by a unified goal, but still a team plagued by inconsistency. Injuries certainly factored into this inconsistency, with Fernando Tatis Jr. being the latest star to find himself on the injured list, forcing him to not participate in the All-Star game. Although the team wasn't exactly underrepresented, as 5 Padres were named National League All-Stars: Tatis, Profar, Arise, closer Robert Suarez, and rookie outfielder Jackson Merrill. Although among the 5 teams with at least 5 All-Stars, the Padres were a glaring anomaly. Could this volatile team truly compete for a championship? Well, even through the extreme ebbs and flows, this team had an ability to make you believe.
Abrams to right field. Johnson coming in. He makes the catch. Dylan Cease throws a no-hitter. The second no-hitter in Padres history. There'll be a sea of San Diegans celebrating back home today. Two-pitch. Solano on the ground to left. The Dodgers had a 5-0 lead. Not anymore. Padres walk it off.
A comeback win to conclude July, the climax in a string of 4 straight series wins heading into the trade deadline. A span including the aforementioned contending Dodgers, Orioles, and Guardians. Was this recent upswing a signal of true consistency, or simply another facade? Well, AJ Preller was going to make sure to sustain this streak no matter the cost, orchestrating deals for relievers Jason Adam, Brian Hoeing, the market's top reliever Tanner Scott, and a last-minute deal for starter Martin Perez. The result? A depleted farm system, but a clearer path to a World Series title. To summarize, a surging team awaiting the returns of 3 key players built a super pen to supplement a high-potential rotation and the league's most clutch offense coming off a month of high-leverage excellence. A blueprint for playoff success, which the Padres showcased through the rest of the regular season. Whether it was the trio of Tatis, Machado, and Solano producing this team's first set of back-to-back-to-back home runs since 1997, or Manny Machado becoming the franchise home run record holder, or shortstop prospect turned makeshift center fielder Jackson Merrill using both his glove and bat to make his case for the title of baseball's most clutch player, or a streak of 4 straight games where this team completed a comeback win after trailing in the 8th inning or later, or even a triple play to clinch a postseason berth.
Rojas on the ground to third. Machado touches third, fires to second. Out at first. It's a triple play. It ends the ball game.
No single extraordinary moment defined this team. They simply were extraordinary. Hence why, entering the 2024 wildcard, an atmosphere of hope engulfed the city. This is what Peter built. We're just taking care of it. We're definitely doing it for him on the front line, but these fans are showing up. It's just a beautiful time right now in San Diego.
Up the line, Higashioka makes the catch, tumbles over Solano, the game is over, and it's on to Los Angeles!
Following the sweep of an injury-riddled Braves team, the stage was set for an NLDS showdown with the LA Dodgers. Momentum-wise, from July 20th onward, the Padres and Dodgers simultaneously dominated the league. But against each other, the Padres held the upper hand for the first time in over a decade. A budding rivalry, two rowdy fan bases, a combined surplus of momentum and clutchness. All in all, a recipe for an all-time classic series.
Raptors take game one, and what a game one it was. And the Dodgers have their first win in the postseason since game one 2 years ago. Pummeled down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone. Mookie Betts is rounding the bases thinking that it's a home run. Jurickson Profar says,
And it's gonna go! A two-run homer for Peralta!
Towards the gap, and Tatis picks it off. They're still chirping, John. How are we gonna get through this series without things boiling over? I don't know.
Just looks like someone threw a ball at Profar.
That is not cool. And Mike Schilt understandably not happy. Manny Machado pulling the team together in the Padres dugout in an impromptu team meeting.
Merrill swing sends it in the air to left field and deep. This one gonna go! Xander Bogaerts, bad leg and all. They go back-to-back in the eighth.
Higashioka's third home run of the postseason. The Padres teeing off. Second of the game for Tatis. And they've got double digits in game two. And the Padres have tied this series at a game apiece. But now the scene shifts to San Diego and the cauldron that is Petco Park. So we came into this series thinking I had a chance to be crazy, and Dodger fans, Padre fans, baseball fans just dying to know what's coming next.
And the Dodgers shut out the Padres in back-to-back games. They are going to the National League Championship Series.
That's how it ends? A season of perseverance, camaraderie, history, the quest to complete a perfect story, over just like that? Not in historic fashion, but infamous fashion. This moment, a sold-out San Diego crowd standing in unison watching Fernando Tatis Jr. crush a two-run home run in a vital Game 3. This was the final time this fan base collectively celebrated a run crossing home plate. For the next 24 innings, the Padres failed to score a single run, concluding their postseason the way it began, with a ground ball to third base. Roster-wise, man, we had it all. And this was the time that it felt like everything that had happened and him being up there, you know, kind of looking down on us, guiding us, that it would be a special year. But it didn't happen. A haunting conclusion to a near storybook campaign. And like the year prior, uncertainty laid on the horizon. Except this time around, the Padres didn't hold a Juan Soto-type trade chip. Instead, considering their financial constraints, Joe Musgrove's Tommy John surgery, and the possibility of both Michael King and Dylan Cease leaving after the 2025 season, it felt like the preservation and elongation of the Padres' playoff window was at the mercy of a 23-year-old pitching phenom, Roki Sasaki. Instead, we could only watch as the evolving juggernaut up the 5 freeway grew larger. Sasaki, Blake Snell, Teoscar Hernandez, Tanner Scott, all signing multi-year deals with the Dodgers. At the same time, numerous key members of the 2024 Padres signed elsewhere, whilst in the background, an ongoing lawsuit commenced in regards to control of the team. Ultimately, a deflating reality began to set in. Between the strengthening of the Dodgers juggernaut, the movement of star players around the National League, a depleted, top-heavy farm system, financial restraints, ownership infighting, the unlikelihood of the Padres repeating the same level of high-leverage success, it felt like the peak of the Padres' playoff window had passed, ultimately concluded by 24 innings. Peter Seidler was the most optimistic person in sports. According to former Padres co-owner Ron Fowler, to say he saw the cup as half full is probably a misstatement. I think he saw it as close to 3/4 full. He saw the possibilities, the upside in everything. Months ago, I envisioned a different ending to this video. Following every instance of this team's high-leverage triumphs, visions of once-in-a-lifetime moments and celebrations often consumed my mind as I constantly mulled over the likelihood of realizing a long-term personal goal: to craft a San Diego Padres championship video. Not only the perfect ending to a captivating story, but the realization of a personal dream. However, in a sport as volatile as baseball, holding on to the concept of perfection is forever a losing battle. Realistically, this video should have been done months ago, but the selfish part of my mind couldn't accept the outcome of such a promising season. In contrast to my acceptance of 2023's disaster long before that year's conclusion, the 2024 NLDS was an abrupt, heartbreaking conclusion to the most exciting season of my lifetime. In reflection, I've accepted that many will choose to solely associate the 2024 Padres with the tagline of 24 innings. And I suppose that's the purpose of this video: to preserve and encapsulate the feelings and moments of what some consider a wasted season. At one point, I felt the same, but no longer. In MLB history, there have been over 700 triple plays, over 300 no-hitters, over 300 sets of back-to-back-to-back home runs, and over 100 comeback wins from 8+ runs down. Only one team has done all 4 in the same season: the 2024 Padres. That's how I'll remember this team.
It's all the offseason talk was about what the Padres didn't do, what other teams did do. Do you guys hear that noise, and do you care?
No, we don't care. Whoever we got in the locker room, we're ready to go with, ready to go to war with. If you're on our team, you're a brother, you know, so whoever we sign, it doesn't matter to me. We don't need anybody on $100 million contracts to win games, you know, so let's do it.
For a team with such a high variance of outcomes, the Padres enter the 2025 season with many questions. Can they preserve the same camaraderie from last season? How much of their 2024 high-leverage success will they retain? Was the addition of Nick Pivetta enough for a rotation reeling from not only the season-long absence of Joe Musgrove, but early-year absence of Yu Darvish? Will Luis Arraez return to his 2022-2023 form following thumb surgery? What can Jackson Merrill accomplish in his sophomore season? As much as these questions will dictate not only the outcome of 2025, but the team's immediate future as well, I'm excited to watch this team play baseball again. The prospect of new players, new storylines, new memories. I'm ready for the story of 2025. A story that will answer an inconclusive mystery. Did the 2024 Padres end their story on a conclusive note? Or was it an intermission to a grander tale? A cliffhanger forcing us to tune in for the epic finale, with only one end credits quote to hold us over. 1 year soon, the baseball gods will shine on the San Diego Padres, and we will have a parade. When it happens, I'll get to work on a championship video. For now, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride.